Alright, so catch and pass is fairly, you can argue that it's fairly simple, so we want to keep it to like fairly simple as well, and also mix a little bit of like known skills to keep it at a rugby basis. So we're thinking like a 20 by 15. This is pretty open-ended, so you can do as few or as many players as you want. So for this example, we're going to be doing 3v2. So this is kind of like touch, except we're not going to be using like a traditional rugby ball. We're just kind of mix it up a little bit. You can really do whatever you want. You can do like a cheap like foam ball that doesn't have as nice of a fly, or like a boot or whatever. So we're not going to do a normal kickoff because you can't kick like a boot. It might not be as like it's not going to be as efficient as a rugby ball. So let's say we have 3 players here, 2 players here, kind of like dodgeball. They're going to come in, try to get the ball, and then, well, I guess we have to do on the side.
We'll take that part out.
Yeah, but you kind of have to get the, and then whoever gets the ball, you come back and you reset, and then it's, pretty much touch, but instead of focusing specifically on, we need to get this try, we're going to be focusing specifically on, like, you need to get this set amount of passes. So it's like, if you get through this number of passes, you get a point. And if you make it all the way, like, all right, then we did our, 2 passes here, and then all the way down, and then once you get to the try, you can get another point, but pretty much before you get to the try line, you can make as few or as little points as possible. So it's kind of to disincentivize a player grabbing the ball and being like, haha, this is my game now, and I'm just going to run at the end, because you're actually going to be making less points for your team that way. So it's incentivizing, like, let's pass the ball. Yes, Chris?
What if you don't have the goal as being to get too much better? The goal is just to see how many passes you can make, and that's how many points you get, and before the turnover occurs, or the drop pass, that other team gets the ball, and then it's their time to see how many passes they can get. You do this in 90 seconds, or however you want the time duration is. You say whoever completed the most passes wins.
Yeah.
Because you want to focus on your passing.
No,
That's the
definitely.
skill you want to develop.
Is it
you keep
giveaway
it
game?
parameters?
It's basically a giveaway game.
The passes have to be legal.
Yes, we are. That's one of the things. At first, we're just going to let them do what they wanted to do, as long as they're making passes, and then as we get into more developing the drill, then they have to make they have to make them good passes every time. Yeah.
So is there, if the 3v2, if the 2 get the ball, are they at disadvantage?
Well, that's why we're going to go back to 3v. We're going to go back to 3v3 because we kind of have 2 different plans going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had two different plans going.
So you could have the dimension you have right now, which is like short passes pumped up.
Yes.
You could go to a much wider one, where now you're getting to a longer.
And that's what we were thinking as it goes, as the players are getting more developed and better at what they're doing. There's tons of options that we could do by lengthening, widening, bringing in an actual structured defense with a plan, and we could also bring plays in on the offensive side that have to be ran within it as well.
You could have sections that are narrower and wider as you go down the field.
Exactly.
The field, so you're in tight, and then the next grid is wider. So as you get into it,
What's the rules?
Yeah. What are the defense doing?
So the defense, it depends on how many people you have, but defense are pretty much going to be being just, I hate to just do stand-in defense, but this is a passing catch drill, well, not drill game. So we're focusing on like,
So touch defense?
yeah, it's
touch
just a normal
defense.
touch defense. If you have a lot of people, something that we've done if you have like 7v7, what we've done in our team is that we have an accordion style defense of like, as soon as a touch happens, you guys all have to come together, touch hands, and then you can spread out again. But yeah, it's kind of just going to be like a normal kind of just straight on.
So if I'm carrying the ball against it and I get touched, do I just pass?
It resets, and then if the defense touches them twice, then the ball's turned over.
How do I reset?
It would just be that individual that got tagged. There'd be a 2 to 3 second time for the offense to get reset into a line and then pass out from there, kind of like a scrum
Do I
half.
put the ball on the floor? Do I keep it up?
It would have to be onto the ground and then start from there. It would have to be,
So that'd be like a regular touch.
yeah.
Okay, so, Sean, you have some questions?
Yeah, so we're working on catch pass. Let me ask you a question on how disruptive is the defense on what we're trying to work on right now?
We don't want them to be, at first we don't want them to be aggressive at all.
Take them out then.
Okay,
Because so let's go simple to more complex.
okay.
What could you do with that now to create a catch pass, either timed race, so up and back,
Right,
controlled race, like you mentioned, so maybe before that halfway line they have to have over and back, and then to finish over and back timed, or 4 times over and back, relay race if you have more players. Just think about what happens when you stick in defenders too early. You've lost what you were trying to work on, which is the specific nature of just that to that. And suddenly they've just caught it and they're tagged, and we're resetting, and we give it, and they're tagged again, and suddenly we're not getting what we want out of it. We're getting actually a very aggressive defense, but it's taken away from what you're working on. So just
Yeah.
think about where, because we know what defenses do. They get all excited, they'll come right up and they're in tag, and suddenly you've got a great defense going on, but it's not what we're working on.
What if you say that there's no defense, it's just all three players? What if you put like cones out on the field, or on your 2 by 20, and you say like, okay, like your goal is you can assign the different point values. This yellow cone's 1 point, this blue cone's 3 points, this red cone's this point. But then you say to them out, you say you got 30 seconds to pass the ball and have move the ball to each person sitting on the cone, and once you do that, you get a point, and we're going to move it again. You have to use your technique to move the ball to different areas of the field, and then assign a point value to each cone, and so you kind of how many times they got the ball to the cone, and then how many times they passed the ball, and combining those.
Wouldn't that be slightly less dynamic in movement, though?
I think you're inventing a new game.
So what we could do is stick
very
with
interesting.
what
Yeah, no, I
with
mean,
what
you're
Sean
right.
was saying and go back to no defense at all, and still do 3 or 4 depending on how many players we have, and then they have to get X amount of passes before the halfway mark to get a point, and then complete another X amount of passes after that to get another point. Then we could put in a defense later on, or we could add more players to the pass. There are other ways that we can make it harder. We could shorten it, yeah.
But where's the contest? If it's just
The fastest, so not only is it the amount, the teams that complete the passes within the section, but at the fastest rate as well. So those individuals that are passing it out faster, and then we could run like a relay
so from
time.
a start line to finish line, I've got to make
X
can I
amount.
win it by getting to the finish line first, or is there a number of points or passes to get to the finish line?
Well, I think it should be, if we're going to do a no defense section where we just want to say, or you need to make this many passes, yada yada, this should be with each player who comes up. I would say I would set a number of steps, because you don't want somebody like making 3 passes across like half of the field or however big the grid is, and but they take 7 steps between that before passing. So if there's no defense, I think there should be a little more structure in like what you can actually do with passing.
So you could do the most. The winner would be the team with the most amount of passes and the shortest amount of time through it, because then you're encouraging good passes as well as you're encouraging that flow forward as fast as possible.
And then penalize drop time.
Yeah, and then drop passes, then however many seconds or just start again.
Yeah, you could always just start at the,
So
like a
like-
drop passes just
So
beginning
it's
and
like
start.
show jumping now. So we're starting to really think of different
If you
games.
go back to your original thought,
Mhm.
is 3v2s could be a game,
Mhm.
a decent game, but the skill level involved in 3v2s for execution is not just the pass. It's the timing of the pass and the lines are running, which you know you're gonna get to. If you started with 3v3, and you were to eliminate, think about how you can eliminate a defender, and then maybe then it's a 3v2, then eliminate another defender, then it's a 3v1. You know, really think about that over lines, because I think you you want to encourage passing,
Right.
but you want to encourage passing when it's the right time to pass and in the right circumstances. So just getting passes in
Right.
and a passing relay is not a bad thing. But if you took your original thought and you started with 3v3, how can you eliminate defenders in the game?
So, just one thought here, the other way to think about this is to have still two teams in the same space, competing for maximum passes. So they're in the way of each other, which,
Opposite ends.
Yeah,
down
that's a
back.
great idea.
and so that helps with, awareness of when to pass, not to pass, so there's some form, but you're not, putting tremendous pressure in terms of defense.
So you go down and back, first
Yeah.
person to score. So now
There you
you're going
go.
to count the passes.
We're
and
just
so
counting
forth.
passes, yeah, just
Now
counting
you know
passes.
time and count.
So the players have to figure out when to pass and, when to, and you still you get the speed there, so there's, just thought.
So we good with this one too? And progressionally now as
Yeah,
well?
there's lots of progression.
Yeah, a lot of progressions in this one. So, round of applause, please.